Hello, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Love It or Shove It. This is the talk show where we are talking about the love and relationships and how can we improve our relationships with ourselves as well as our partners. And if this is the first time you are tuning in, hello and welcome. My name is Irina Portnova, and I call myself Manifestation Star because I manifested great things in my life and I teach people how to do it consciously with love, with joy, and with grace. And I'm here today joined by my co host, Bruno Gill. Bruno, can you share a couple of words about yourself?
Yeah, of course. So my name is Bruno. I'm a self-love coach. Yes, so I help women become more expressive, more confident, um, and just go more for their desires instead of just holding themselves on a shelf. Yeah, that's it. Kind of, yeah. Be more authentic, be more confident. Yeah, that's nice.
Mhm. All right. So today we have a topic about conflict styles because obviously every relationships have the time when people are arguing, when people are shutting down, and everybody is doing differently. Everybody is processing differently in the during the conflict time. Somebody seeks the connection while the other person might want the withdrawal. So there is no such a thing as right or wrong. It's all about just like really fine tune to your partner to make sure that you are not hurting the relationship. And this is exactly what we are going to discuss today and bring to the forefront. So let's talk a little bit about that, Bruno, because again,
Mm.
everybody does differently during the conflict. And I feel from what I experience, I feel that women usually are the ones to seek more connection and kind of resolution, and men are the ones who kind of just go into their shell to process. So
Mm.
let's just open up the floor for the conversation. Because if I'm talking from my perspective, for me, it's very important to feel that I am supported, that I'm loved, even though there is a conflict that is happening, right? So I don't like the fact that the person is very cold, the person doesn't, like contact, because for me, I feel that even in the conflict, there is a way to communicate. For instance, if the person wants to have the privacy time, I'm totally fine with that, but I would love that person to let me know. So this is how I see these things, right? Because again, at the end of the day, if you really value the relationship, you want to make sure that two people feel okay even during the conflict time.
Mhm.
Bruno.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I'll speak from my perception.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, when it comes to conflict, if it hurts me well enough, I go like I have a lot of dark energy inside of me, and whatever is said or done to me, I really couldn't give two shits because I'm gonna use it to my advantage and I'm gonna achieve whatever I want. Um, and that's for me, that's really what it is. I'm not here in this world to prove anybody wrong. I'm here to prove myself right, and as a bonus, people will be proven wrong, irregardless. Um, when it comes to the way I deal with things, not just what I do, I try to emotionally manage myself. I try to not project as much as I possibly can because I know that's never going to take me anywhere. So I try to just harness all that energy, and I try to harness, you know, that adrenaline. And for me, adrenaline is a superpower, right? For me, the drive, I wouldn't call it rage. I call it, I don't know, maybe like controlled anger, whatever it is. For me, it's a blessing because, you know, you know, in a masculine way, all that, if I can channel that again to what I do and what I want to do and how much more I desire to have in my life, I knew I'm gonna get like three, four, maybe five times more done if I was happy and if I was calm. You know, I won't take as many breaks. I won't. Yeah, I mean, I won't take as many breaks. I won't take as many naps, which, quite frankly, I don't even need to. Right. And I most certainly won't. You know, I won't just stop, do a bit, stop, do a bit, stop, do a bit, stop. No, I'm going to be constantly doing it, continuously, inevitably, and and I love it. You know, I love it. Honestly, I love it. But again, that's one side of me. That's just the way I deal with conflict. The way I deal with conflict, I make it work for myself, basically. And I don't advise every single person to do it because each to its own, right? But the way I deal with conflict for myself is like that: is whatever it's done or said to me, I'm going to use it to my advantage. And I am a little bit maniacal with it. I like to remember what was said specifically, how it was said, when it was said, where, with who, and what was said, and whether if it was a word or an action or whatever it is. I really like it. I really like it. And quite frankly, like, I guess that's when I'm fully in my prime, like, productivity is not only when I'm pissed or not only when I'm angry, but especially when I'm pissed, especially when I'm angry, that's when that side of me comes out every single day, minute, hour, and until it lasts, so that's kind of what it is. Um, and yeah, that's kind of how I deal with it. But by me doing that, by me engaging in that side of me, that means I'm withdrawing from connection with the other person, right? And the only way when I withdraw myself from the connection with that person is when I feel like there's no reason for me to connect with that person. Like, if it's something that, like, really triggers me to a point where, like, you went too far, I'm like, no, no, no chance. Like, sorry, but no. Like, I may have my faults, I may have my imperfections, I may have my very negative side, but certain things, when they're said to me, is like, sorry, sorry, like, I'm going to drown you and I'm going to destroy you, and you're going to see me win whether you want it or whether you're not. Yes, you are, and you have no chance. And that's what it is, right? So it's again, and it's like, there's multiple ways where I can channel that dark energy, right? And that's what it is. But yeah. But then again, if you do that, there's positives. But the negatives is that you're withdrawing yourself from the connection, right? Or you don't do that, and you go to the connection. And when you go to the connection is like, you try to fix things, you try to this, you try to that, but that's the thing. And you can a lot of times also have both. You can try and fix things and also, try to embrace that dark energy within you, from other sources, I guess, right? But there's just no, it just really depends what it is, how it affects you, how it shapes you, how it changes you, how it hits you, you know and yeah, and that for me is it. But then again, like I said, just to make sure that we are on topic, if you do that, you're going to move away, you're going to pull yourself away from, the connection of, like, with the other person, right? Because there's no we in that. There's just me, 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 me. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to use that for me, right? And or you can, not do that and just focus on the we, right? And you put that aside. But then again, yeah, for me, the way I deal with it for myself, it just really depends on how it is and how it works, and what it was basically, and how much it actually genuinely hit you. Yeah, that's basically it.
Well, you know what I'm picking up from your lines, that you said that you actually more, like during the conflict time, you are actually more focused and you are more productive. So I trust there is a reason for these kind of
Mm,
conflicts and conversations. Okay, I have to
mhm.
plug in the charger 1 second. Whoops, I'm here.
That's right.
So a lot of
Okay.
times, especially men, the way they actually start doing something when like woman actually becomes serious and when she express exactly what she means. And a lot of times it just starts happening when like when they really feel that they have to do something. And again, like in your case, you said that there is something for you to prove. You don't have to
Yeah.
prove to anybody but yourself, right? The way I always look
Exactly.
at life, we
Yeah.
only compare ourselves to ourselves, and we only have to prove something to ourselves, right? We do not have to prove anything to
Of
anybody.
course.
And the
Absolutely.
most important
Totally.
the most
100%.
important thing,
I've
yes, the most,
just wanted to
yeah, can,
clarify something. Though. Just wanted to clarify something, if I may. I just wanted to clarify
yes,
something, if I
sure.
may. Um, yeah, I really couldn't give two shits about proving things to other people. I prove it to myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Then again, it's like I was saying. It's like I was saying. It's like my main job is to prove it to myself because I know whether I have the intention of proving it or not to other people, they will be watching you regardless, right? So to me, my job is to win, and that's it. Simple. But then again, it's like even when I'm working, because people either emotionally or spiritually or in whatever way kind of fuck me, right? Um, it really it's not even about like it ain't even about being like, oh, like I'm gonna do a lot now, and you know, they're gonna be like, oh wow, then I'm gonna fuck them off. Like it ain't about this. Like, okay, this is a blessing. I'm gonna use all this anger. I'm gonna use all this dark energy that I can for myself, and I'm gonna do it for myself. That's it. Nothing else. That's mainly it.
Yeah,
That's mainly
that
it.
but that's
Basically. And
exactly why these situations are presented, because
yeah,
nothing is here without cause and effect, right? The more we
exactly.
understand how we navigate this life, there are always lessons to learn. And
Hmm.
these conflicts are also teaching us something, right? And again,
Hmm.
these conflicts are presented for the reason. And I totally believe in that. So let's just talk a little bit about how withdrawing or disappearing during hard moments can unintentionally create emotional rupture. Because when one
Mm.
person pulls away during the conflict, their intention might be just self protection. Maybe they don't mean anything bad, but
Mm.
to the partner, to another person who wants connection, the experience can feel like you know the person just is distance, they are emotionally unavailable, they feel that they are not important for them. And that's exactly when things can actually be presented not the way that they are. So again, especially talking from the woman's standpoint, as a woman, I do not want to sit and wait until the partner is going to decide that he wants to show up. As a woman, I want
Mm.
to constantly feel the presence. I want at least
Mm.
to check in and to ask, like, I trust you, okay? Is everything okay? And just say that, like, I'm just taking this time for myself, which is totally fine. But
Mm.
again, there is always the way to navigate the situation. And I
Mm.
think the most important thing is the communication. Because if we keep doing the things the way that we keep doing before, remember with
Mm.
every different partner, the these situations are living through differently. And if we just assume something,
Mhm.
without like really clarifying, without connecting, without not expressing ourselves, right? Again, that distance becomes even a bigger gap. So the
Yeah.
way me as a woman, the way I look at it, if I am with a partner, that partner does not withdraw unless they don't want to be with me anymore. But even in that case, I still feel that there is a communication to be done. So things just not like stop, drop, and then reconnect. It's just not the
Mm,
way that the healthy relationship works. So for me, it's very important, even during the conflicts, to show up and just, like say something, connect, and just, like check in.
mm,
Because for me, that's important.
mhm. Yeah, of course. Absolutely. Well, for me, what's important is that people respect me. Um, and I agree 100% with what you're saying as well. From a woman's point of view, it makes perfect sense. But for me, from my point of view, from the men's point of view, is, you know, I want my respect. There's certain things that I don't tolerate to be said, to be done, whether if it's words, games, tests, fucking God. So really no fucking point in doing any of that shit. Um, and you know, I have my boundaries and I have my standards. And there's certain things that people tell you that other people, in fact, there's certain things that people have told me, right? That I was like, I ain't having this, right? And in the past, for example, like I walked away from them, and it was the best fucking decision I've made in my fucking life, and I proved all of them wrong again as a bonus because I made myself better, and I made myself better, and I was proud of myself for making myself better, right? And now they regret it, and that's what it is. But then again, I don't do it for the regret. I don't do it for the ultimate realization at 2 or 3 a.m. that like I was the one, or some Disney bullshit. Like whatever. You know, um,
Okay, can we
I did
just
it
please
for
move on?
myself,
I
and
have a
I
couple
did
of
it for
more
myself,
important.
and
Yeah, we heard. Yes, we
that's fine.
understood.
That's fine. It's half an hour anyways. We have like 12 minutes, so we have more than enough time. Um, and I just feel like for me, it's again, for me, what matters is respect, right? And not only is respect, it's it's more than that. It's like, again, I'm not a saint. I say some stupid shit, right? But for example, like I'm not gonna say things to, if I'm in a relationship, I'm not gonna say things to hurt people or whatever. But when I see that people are trying to hurt me with their words, and they say certain things that trigger me before that other people have triggered as well, right? Then I'm gonna go ape shit. And when I go ape shit, is like, yeah, it's like, you're done, you're finished. Basically, that's what it is. And there's really no going back. There's no buts, ifs, or maybes. It's what it is. And I'm gonna love every single fucking second of it. That's what it is. Simple. Yeah. Thanks for letting me finish.
Okay. I wanted to continue with a few points that I wanted to cover before we wrap up. So another point is what staying emotionally connected actually look like, even when people disagree. So connection does not really mean the agreement. It means I see you. It means I respect your feelings. It means I'm still here. It means we matter more than being right. For instance, if the person acknowledges that it's very important for another person and they
Mm,
understand that somebody is hurt, and just have this communication, notice that it's not about just withdrawing, but more like giving the person the words and explaining why it's happening. For me, this is very important, Because again, everybody at the end of the day, everybody can behave the way that they want, but there is a thing that's called integrity. There is a thing that's called consistency. There is a thing that's called true partnership. So these are the values that I live by. And for me, this is super important. It's not about just, like bringing the childhood trauma and to get upset and just, like to show your inner child, which I understand we all have our inner child. But then again, if we are dealing with the adults, we want to also act mature, not taking
Mhm.
assumptions, not assume that other person disrespects or other person meant something the way I interpret. But it's more
Mm.
about asking, did you really mean X, Y, and Z? To really hear from the person what they meant with whatever they are saying before making the conclusion. So for me, this is actually the level of maturity where you can stay in discomfort and you can honestly process your feelings rather than just withdrawal and assuming and just disappearing.
Okay, awesome. Fantastic. No, I agree with you. I agree with you. Well, when it comes to did you really mean it? Well, of course they meant it because they're upset with each other, you know? The same way a person means I love you because they're feeling love. Of course. They love them because they're feeling in love with them, right? And I hate you because they're feeling hatred for them. So whatever people say, it's exactly what they mean, and you should trust them. You shouldn't even have to ask. Right? I'm the first one to say I meant everything, you know, I said to multiple people in my past, and even now I mean it, and I'll always mean it, and I'll wear it on my fucking chest, and I don't care. Um, and that's what it is. So that's just what it is. When it comes to also bringing childhood trauma and stuff, or I wouldn't say bringing it up, I say acting from that place, right? Yeah, absolutely. And I'll put myself on the spot, right? Because then again, that's what adults do. I still do that sometimes. I still go through those things actually, you know. Um, and ultimately that is what it is. But quite frankly, again, as long as you keep learning from that, and as long as you keep growing from that, and you will eventually break that loop where you know that you will be you're no longer that person, or at least you're trying your best to not be that person, right? And that's it. And for some people it's instant, for some people it takes some time, and for others it takes a whole life, right? But the most important thing is for you to do your best, knowing exactly what you should be doing and what you should be saying, right? Act from that person. I guess a tip for me is, if you were your best friend, right? If you were your best friend, or in this case, like if you were watching yourself from the guidelines, right? What would you like yourself to be doing, right? And before you say, oh, I would have done the same exact thing, you probably wouldn't. Because if you put yourself in the shoes of somebody else looking at you doing whatever bullshit you're doing, right, you probably wouldn't like yourself that much. You probably would agree why the other person actually left, right? Because that's what you think about somebody else if you were watching them, right? So ultimately, right, nobody's perfect. Everybody's growing. Yes, there's very smart people, and there's very intelligent people, and there's people who are either right on time. Some people act and behave like they're completely ahead of their time, and it's amazing to watch. But nobody's perfect still, right? And everybody's growing, everybody's learning, no matter if you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Some people, and that's the thing, and nobody's too old to be learning, anyways, right?
Yep.
Um, but then again, there is there's just certain things that we need to address, and a lot of times what we need to address is the actual elephant in the room. And in this case, the elephant in the room is a problem, right? And it's the what actually is the and the solutions for that. But a lot of times for me, I'll put it plain simple. If honestly, if I withdraw myself for a very long time, it's for two reasons. It's because I don't see any solution in that, because I don't accept that behavior ever. And if it happened once, it probably happens multiple times. Or number two is because I don't think about those fucking people anyways. It's because I don't think about them. If I don't talk with somebody for weeks, it's because I didn't think about them once ever during those times. Simple. And yeah, and that's it. But that's because I am I have tunnel vision in what I'm doing, and I'm still driving in all that dark energy from what happened, right? So yeah.
So let's just wrap it up with talking about how understanding conflict styles validates the relationship without blame or shame. So when couples
Hmm.
learn conflict styles, they stop saying you're cold, you're dramatic, you're too much, you never talk. Instead, they say you regulate with space, I regulate with closeness. So it's all about
Hmm.
just understanding when we talk about relationships, it's not about
Hmm.
who is right and who is wrong. And I feel like this is something that people develop with the experience, because we can't have the skills if we never had life experience. And this is something that I believe is important for every relationship, because
Hmm.
again, we were not born to be perfect, but at the same time, there is always something we can improve in our
Hmm.
relationship. Like
Hmm.
when I talk about from the woman's perspective, just to stand my ground and to really express what's on my heart without being
Hmm.
frightened to be misunderstood or be judged or be saying that I'm too much or that I'm
Yeah.
disrespectful. So for me, this is like a great way to continue expanding in that nature and know that I just know my truth and I'm just going to
Hmm.
stand to that truth.
Hmm. That's good. That's actually really good. And that's the thing, it's like absolutely. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about you expressing yourself or try to express yourself in the most respectful possible way you can. But the problem is that when we're heated up, it clouds your mind, it clouds your own judgment, and you just say stupid shit, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that's what it is. But but still, it's the stupid shit was said or showed, right? And that means that it's just like it's unnecessary. And that's the thing, it's like I've realized this week and last week as well that it's when those things are said to you, it's when things in the same nature are said to you that you're like, that is so unnecessary. And you're contradicting yourself and you're doing all this stuff. But then when you think about it, it's like, oh, wait a second. I've said stupid shit like this before. And I said it for multiple days in a row when I was upset. I bet this is what people think of me, right? And and yeah. And so, it's like I quite frankly I don't envy or jealous or ever. I don't want to put it that way because I don't even like those words first and foremost. But I really respect, I guess, people who are able to forgive certain things that people say. I really am, honestly. I really, again, no envy, no jealousy, but I really respect those people because I couldn't. And I haven't, I'm not looking to forget a single fucking thing that was said from people that, I never thought they would say that to me, you know? not looking to forget about it. So that's really the reality about it. And I yeah, that's it. That's it. So I'm looking to forgive, of course, but I'm not looking to forget. And, and that's it.
All right. So I feel this is a great episode with great insights. And for anybody who is tuning in, we would love to know your opinion. How do you show up in the conflict with your partner? If you feel open to share, and share this video with somebody who might be benefiting from this conversation, because again, these are the things that people do not bring to the public. This is something everybody's keeping to the private. So I love that we have the opportunity to actually show up and be authentic and talk through these things, so you can learn from our experience and also see how that resonates. Because again, it would be just not truth to show that everything is perfect when there are things to work on. And that just shows that every relationship goes through some ups and downs. And it's all about how people manage these things and how they show up, and if they are willing to choose each other. All right. So that was a great episode. And we'll see you next week for another topic. And in the comments, you can put the topics, whatever is interested for you. Just let us know and we will talk about it. All right. See you for next time.